let's get into news you can use. Yes. So tonight's segment in news you can use. This is a segment where we talk about hot topics and things going on in the community. Just news that you can use. You good, but you tired? I bet you are, Ma. You had a busy day today. That's my mom in the comments. Y'all can see we had the same last name, so I don't think it was hard to put two and two together. But yeah. Let's talk about this government shutdown. Ciao. Let's share this tab. Shout out to Gabby, Hilo News, Hard News reporter, who has covered this for us. And Congresswoman Sheila Sherfilis McCormick spoke with 103.5 The Beats, Papa Keith, our friend of the show, about what the current shutdown really means for us. So let's get into this piece, right? Come on, let's get into our graphics. Okay. The government shutdown began at midnight on October 1st after Democrats and Republicans couldn't reach an agreement before a funding deadline, ending a lifeline for many federal programs. According to CBS News, the Congressional Budget Office warns that as many as 750,000 federal workers could be furloughed, though essential workers will continue to work without pay until Congress acts. Hold up. Can we talk about that one just right there? How y'all gonna ask somebody to work for no pay? So, and y'all remember the last one that lasted, let me see, because I was listening to it on the Ricky Smiley Morning Show, but I just want to have fact. Let me Google this real quick. How long? Because I want to know how long was the other shutdown. How long was the longest? Look, it came right up in the Google search. The last government shutdown was, and that was in 2018, 21 days. No, 35 days. So how many pay periods is that? 35 days. Are you serious? Yes, you got it. Who finna miss that many paychecks? That's a whole month of pay. So you telling me what? 35 days. So I didn't know the people had to work without pay. Who's doing that? 2.5 pay periods. Total nonsense. But anyways, some people voted for this. On the same day, Rep. Sheila Sherfilis McCormick joined 103.5 The Beats Papa Keith to inform her South Florida constituents about the challenges ahead. She said that over 200,000 families in her district are expected to be affected by the shutdown, with some facing 116% increase in cost this month, a reference to rising healthcare premiums if tax credits are not allowed. Wow. And she's just talking about her district. Her district spans pretty much most of Broward County. And so that's kind of crazy that 200,000 families are going to be affected in her district, and maybe similar numbers with Frederica Wilson district, which is, mainly South, like the Miami-Dade, the North Dade area. Republicans, this is a quote from Rep. Sherfilis McCormick. The Republicans had a plan from the beginning. They wanted a shutdown. They have the House, the Senate, and they also have the presidency. So if they wanted to pass the continuing resolution, which is the resolution to fund the government, they could have, but they didn't want to negotiate. They kind of were pushing us towards this shutdown, and even went and we even offered to negotiate with them if they would actually allow the tax credits to make sure that we can keep the affordable healthcare tax credits. And that just allows people who are on the affordable healthcare to actually have reasonable rates. Ooh, along with the impacts on healthcare, this government shutdown is financially taxing on the American economy. A memo from the White House warns that each week that the government remains closed could have a $15 billion remains closed could have $15 billion off U.S. economic output and push an additional 43,000 people into unemployment if the shutdown extends for a month. Wow. Furthermore, Rep. Sherfilis McCormick provided more insight into how this government shutdown move may fit into a longer-term strategy. She quotes, with the shutdown, it allows the president to have a certain discretionary power so he can choose what he wants to fund and who he wants to lay off. So the president was threatening to do a massive furlough, a massive firing, and he actually wanted to do that. there are certain programs that he was specific about, and he calls them programs that don't fit his agenda. Wow, that almost feels this feels intentional, so that he could be able to do this. This is this a little scary, y'all. How y'all feeling like that? How y'all feeling like that? A month, no pay. My best friend, her entire department has been furloughed. Wow, that's sad. Yes, I know. Let me see what Keisha had to say. Yes, I know someone who works with TSA. They had to show up and work while their checks were put on pause. I don't know how you get me to show up without pay. It sounds like somebody I know, but I ain't gonna spill that tea. And somebody I know watching, no, I know about somebody who been acting like they had a government shutdown forever, pausing people paychecks and making them still come to work. Yeah, I'm resting as long as the check resting. This is saying consider most people live paycheck. Exactly. That's I'm like, I wonder if there are any provisions or like any like say for example, does the light bill, does the mortgage, does your like if you're renting your landlord, do they allow you to pay later if you're a government employee, or do you know like kind of remember doing COVID and people were getting different I guess more time to pay, and people are, able to delay their payments. I wonder, does this happen for federal employees when this happens? Retirees and seniors are concerned about their Social Security and retirement. Look, personally, this is affecting me because as a, entrepreneur, someone who, has to pay for their own health care, I, benefited from Obamacare. I was able to afford my health care. And when I left iHeart, and I've been doing that for over the years, where I pay for my own health care. And it's because of those tax credits from Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act. I would not be able to afford my health care without these tax credits, or I will be, asking Tonsis to pay the difference. Like it just would be a lot. So that's crazy that this is going to affect all of this stuff. And the thing that the Democrats are standing firm on, and I respect them for this. And actually Bakari Sellers was talking about this earlier today on Ricky Smiley Morning Show. He was like, they have been consistent in saying, keep the Affordable Care Act tax credits. The people need this, and they didn't budge. They were like, we want this. Y'all can have y'all, can y'all compromise on this? And the Republicans didn't want to. So yeah, this is gonna be an interesting time, y'all. Y'all just stay prayed up, and blaming the Democrats. Why can't people take accountability? Is sad. Yeah, I think that was you, Tammy, telling me that the CDC actually posted something, a official government site was blaming the Democrats. I don't even know how that's even possible. When I logged into my bank account today, they have to do a message that if you need help, so maybe that some financial institutions provide some type of assistance. That's great to know. So maybe the financial institutions may be offering like hopefully low interest or loans or something like that. I mean, that's still giving people more debt, but at least they'll be able to pay for their things. That credit is helpful to me as well. I need it, and they need to keep the damn credit. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Look, that Affordable Care Act, I'm telling you, I don't care what they say about Obama. Obama is all right with me for that. I need my health credits too as an entrepreneur. Exactly. It helps a lot of entrepreneurs. And here's the other thing too. It's so crazy because they've been saying that this not shutdown, like since Trump has gotten in office, that is really affected Black women who work for the federal government. And a lot of them have gotten laid off, over something like 300,000. Now look at this. Black women are leading entrepreneurs. And I know a lot of us, I would even guesstimate, if I had to guess, probably hundreds of thousands, if not millions of Black women entrepreneurs are taking advantage of the Affordable Care Act tax credits so that they can have health insurance as they run their business. So not only are you affecting us with actual full-time jobs in the government, you're now going to be affecting Black women who are entrepreneurs. Like, just the attack on Black women is just unprecedented at this point. And I don't know if it's directly or indirectly, but that's just something to think about. The fact that these women are losing their jobs from the federal government, and now Black women entrepreneurs, and just, entrepreneurs in general, are going to be affected by the Affordable Care Act if they don't get this together. So I pray this don't be as long as the other one. 35 days is insane. I'm hoping that there's some compromise and some give, but child, y'all just be safe out